All right, my name is Dave Joisil. I'm the host and creator of Hey, it's Mr. J. It's a YouTube channel for children that teaches exercise, fitness, social emotional learning, and character development.
Diversified game. Learn how to start, run, and sustain your business.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game. So when I saw Brother Dave, the first thing when Kat, the publicist, you guys hear me talk about Kat, my PR friend, when I saw his stuff, I said, is this gonna be on Nickelodeon? Because it reminded me of the fitness of 𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐞𝐿, and we know our kids need to be running around.
Absolutely.
I got my kids every day on that Peloton, my car's a treadmill. But Dave, welcome to Diversified Game, my bro.
Cash, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, okay. I'm taking the time because you're taking the time. Let the people know why. How did this idea start? Because I know when you said, I'm going to do this, you had family members who said, are you crazy? Like, what are you trying to do? Give us the gag on how this started.
Yeah, so, working with children is a great passion of mine. So I have been working with children now for almost 2 decades. I started right after high school. I was a volunteer wrestling coach and helping the young children in our town. That led me to becoming a fitness instructor for children. I was working at parent and me centers, so like mommy and me classes, like circle times, songs and dances, basic gymnastics, tumbling. And one of the things I loved about that job is it introduced me to being more of an entertainer as well, because it wasn't just teaching. You were on stage a lot, so you had to like entertain the parents, the kids, and that made me really as I realized that I really love being on stage, but performing specifically for kids. From there, I became a physical education teacher, health teacher, because sports and health is like my royal house. It's what I really care about. I'm passionate about as well. But how did this all start? Uh, just like every other teacher during 2020, during COVID, I was teaching online virtually, and it's really tough to get kids moving on a computer. So I was looking at videos and trying to get the kids inspired. And then I just felt like there was a lack of just what I considered quality content, as well as, there wasn't that much diversity and inclusion and representation. So I came up with the idea during COVID. However, talking about like family members doubting you and stuff, and just myself, I just sat on it for a long time. I got out of teaching. I tried other entrepreneurial journeys, but I just kept on feeling the calling. I needed to go back to children and do something great and positive for them. And I've been sitting on that idea. So I was like, you know what? About 2 years ago, I said, let's go fully at this thing. Let's see if we have something here. And now I'm rapping and teaching kids about fitness and social emotional learning and character development. And it's a lot of fun.
And so when you're doing that, being from New Jersey, was there any training that you did? Have you done movies? Is your IMBD filled up or classically training? Like, how did you prepare?
Yeah, absolutely. Funny enough, because I've always liked the idea of entertaining. You talk about IMBD. I have a page because I did a couple of YouTube videos for a friend coming up. Please don't look them up because I don't want anybody embarrassing me like watching those.
Creepy.
What's that?
We won't be creepy.
Please don't.
Don't be creepy, y'all. Don't be a creep.
But I also had a little bit of a background of editing videos, just like a side hobby that I understood and, very basic. I do it on my phone. And I just had no idea how I wanted to present this thing, especially because I was like, okay, how do I make this fun for kids? Especially, you got to worry about your target audience. How am I going to reach them, right? And eventually I figured music was the best way of going because kids like music. I can make something catchy that they can teach and learn from. So I had to make songs, and I have zero experience with that. And that's just been trial and error. I just got a microphone and sat in a closet and got some beats, and then it's gotten a lot better over time. But it's still a work in progress, I would say, honestly.
When you started, because especially with YouTube, everybody starts with an audience of zero,
Yeah.
but YouTube might be your platform. TikTok, there's Rumble, there's so many different platforms. how did you go about etching out the time? A lot of people have a hard time starting because they know there's no guaranteed money once you put all this time into production and laying it out.
Yeah, it was definitely more of a side project when I started. Just something part-time I do here and there when I had availability. But then 2025, I said, you know what? I got to put my best foot forward and really uh, put my all into this. Unfortunately, some things happened in my life personally, where I mean, I'll just be transparent. I mean, like I had a business that I was running in Florida that didn't work out too well. So I had some time with that. I had a relationship that ended that gave me more free time because I didn't have someone living with me anymore. So then I just like, you know what? I have a little bit of time here because I was staying in Florida till my lease expired. And I was like, I'm going to just put all the time I have into building videos. And then in that time span, I created about 30 videos. It just was consistent, just sitting in front of a computer, planning things out, and then just getting in front of a camera, recording, editing, and putting stuff up. It was a really positive time, especially because it was a hard time for me.
You've tried it your way, but you're still in debt. Or maybe you're doing okay, but want to invest smarter, grow faster. MillionaireX.ai gives you real step-by-step strategies to ditch debt or stack wealth. Stop dreaming and start planning. Visit MillionaireX.ai today. I want you to be the next millionaire next door.
Mm. And then the character of Mr. J, did you want him to speak to a certain audience, age group, demographic?
Yeah. I focus on children around the age range of 2 to 8. When they're two, they really don't understand everything that's being said, but at least the melody and the rhythm and the beat might be fun for them. And the movement videos where they can just follow along with me and exercise along with me, that might be good for them. Not might be, that is good for them. And then you have, the older ones who can probably take a little bit more from what I'm saying. Cause like the movement stuff is basic, right? Just follow along and exercise with me. But then I talk about some more complicated things like anxiety and character development, like things of like don't lying and or not lying, and how to introduce yourself into a conversation without interrupting when adults are talking. So these are skills that I feel like kids need, and I'm presenting it in a way that they can understand and they can take it in.
You have some great numbers on YouTube,
Thank
but
you.
I know you might come out once a month or every 2 months, whatnot. And this is a for someone who has YouTubers as and content creators. It's not about your subscribers because subscribers don't pay bills. It's about the views and people watching and staying on. But does it take, give us the process of what it takes to create a video at such a level that you're doing it at? And is that just kind of the lead generation for people to hire you? And do you go on tour? Do you go to different schools? How does that work on the business model?
Yeah, so the thing is, it's really just me right now. I outsource two people on occasion. One person who makes beats for me, another who may do editing for me. Sometimes I do the editing myself. You can definitely tell which ones I do compared to what he does if you really pay attention to it. Um, but because it's me, I wear so many hats. So like I had a season, like I said before, where it was just pumping out content nonstop over and over. Now I'm in my phase of just like networking and connecting with people. So I've kind of cut back on the content creation so I can just be in the right room with right people. And I was lucky enough, like I said, during that time where I created a portfolio of enough things. So like I could like, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is my vision. Do you want to get on board? I've had some schools reach out to me directly and they like love what I do. And there's talks of me. Well, we're working it out where I can come in and do some presentations. I actually just got an email today from a parent asking me if I can go to her school, some birthday party. So there's things lined up. It's just building out that exact program so I can take the show on the road. But the demand is there.
And as far as, if your ideal, would it be to have something like a show on a Nickelodeon or PBS? Well, maybe not PBS because funds are, but the next administration on the cast. Well, what would be, your goal, or is it movies? Like, where do you see yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think the sky's the limit, right? I mean, the thing about the network's television, I feel like in today's age, it may not necessarily be needed. especially with all the streaming services. I mean, like Miss Rachel, she just did a big deal with Netflix, as I'm sure you might know, or if you didn't know. I feel like that's where most people are nowadays. I mean, I believe Nickelodeon has a streaming service, or they're partnered with Paramount, so you can catch them there. But you know, I'm open to everything, but right now we're just in the stages of let's get this out there so people know what we're doing. Because whenever people see or find out about it, the feedback is great. It's just trying to get more people to understand what the mission is, what I'm doing, and really benefit kids all over the world.
Do you find it interesting or even maybe sad that here you're doing something positive, made for kids, you
I
know,
think I know where you're going with this.
yeah, but it is so hard to get in the door. But if you were some type of rapper talking about flim flam flee, they say, come on in, we got a deal for you, possibly. Like,
Yeah.
how do you deal with that?
It's funny. I knew exactly where you're going with this because sometimes I get that frustration, and I'm like, not even just the rappers. I'm like, I don't want to criticize what anyone else does, and I've learned to be grateful during the journey. This is my journey. They had their journey. They've made their content, and it's working for them. I think when I see those other people who may not be doing something as I feel as as transformative as what I'm trying to create, they are providing a service. They're entertaining people, and I can't take away from that because that is something that we all need. We need to laugh. We need to, find joy in what we're watching. So, even though we might be going different routes about it, I think that it's just my time will come when it's time to come, and I'm very happy that we live in a space where creators can make anything and monetize it nowadays. To be honest.
Hello, everyone. Join us on an exciting journey with Explore the World Cameroon. London and Sydney will take you explore Cameroon, the heart of Africa. Experience the vibrant culture, nature, and traditions from Yaoundé market to rainforest adventures. Every page a new discovery. Join the Cameroonian food, music, and wildlife with our explorers. This book a true celebration of Cameroon spirit. Get your copy now. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and through your library and bookstores there in Grants Park. Don't miss this adventure.
And the monetization, and we hear, okay, Netflix isn't paying this person this much, but they're paying that. Same thing with YouTube and all these things. And I tell people, hey, create your own website. Because if you're going to build an audience, use all these things as kind of, your lead generation so they can funnel back to your site. What is your thought on, there's so many streaming services. You'd have to have a big team to keep up with everyone. Where do you want people to go to view your stuff? Is it the YouTubes? Is it your own site, your own portal? Is your stuff on your own blockchain?
Not on the blockchain yet. We'll find the crypto service to get us going. But for me right now, I am building out a website that's in the works. I just also think it legitimizes what I'm doing. YouTube my main platform because of the, people are already there. I feel like sometimes you got to meet people where they're at, especially in a space where you're making content on video, or making video for kids. Because I know a lot of parents are anti-tablet or anti-screen, and I'm like, well, let's not necessarily get rid of the screen to the tablet. Let's go where they are, but let's provide them something that's positive, something that's transformative, something that helps them. I don't understand the space for mindless things when they watch it, but I'm on all the platforms. I make sure that my reach is large, but yeah, ideally, I would like to have my own place where people can find me, and make it a place where you're going to see Mr. J all the time, every time.
I want you to, somebody's probably listening to this, then they're saying, let me go check out his thing. Let me pause real quick and check it out, or
Yeah.
they bookmarked it. I believe your YouTube videos are on YouTube Made for Kids, which can be a great thing if you're just trying to reach kids, but when you're trying to monetize and get out to the masses. It's awful because the way Google, YouTube, does YouTube just for kids, it's not the most friendly financially that we've seen. What what is your take on how YouTube treats content for kids, and you believe that you're being pushed in the algorithm, properly? I mean, you have great numbers on some of these videos, so
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. There's a whole law called the COPPA laws, which restrains what kids creators can actually make, in a sense, because the revenue is lower because we're not allowed to advertise to children technically. I mean, there's these loopholes and people get around it, but it's not the same as other niches on YouTube, unfortunately. But that was one of the things when I thought about when I was creating this. I'm like, this is something I have to really consider because, I'm not going to be able to make as much money as uh, a Mr. Beast per view because, kids are restrained on how much they can make per 1,000 views on YouTube. But the mission and what I was trying to create was just to me so needed and so important that I was like, you know what, the money will come, the people will come, and when people see what this is, they're going to really enjoy and really back it. Um, but as far as the push and the numbers, I mean, I'm hustling. I'm out here. I'm sending cold emails. I'm really getting my way to get people to see what I need to do, see what I'm making. So I was able to get on the YouTube Kids app, and my numbers for subscribers is technically a lot smaller than a lot of people on there. But that was just me reaching out, getting there. I got a feature on YouTube Kids, which is really great for my channel. So a lot of people were able to see it. We just went over 1 million views. So the algorithm is just a tricky thing. Sometimes videos pop off, and I really don't know why or how. And sometimes it just takes some time, and that's what I'm going to tell myself is going to take some time because the numbers may not be where they want them to be right now, but they'll get there eventually.
Now, before the person listening to this say, see, I want to be just like him, I want to do that, I'm about to quit my job and just go full force, can you let them know the method of how you could do this project and sustain your living? Because that everybody, some people have savings, some people have a rich uncle, some people have trust fund, and some people have other jobs or businesses that keep them going and flowing.
Yeah, I mean, to to quit your job is really difficult, I would say, unless you understand that you have the savings or uncle or someone who's going to take care of you. Because, I've been in this game for now 2 years, but like I said in the beginning, more part time. Now we're in September, so maybe I would say more full time came September, but I didn't get monetized till about a month ago. But that's just the game. I think that you got to understand, like I said, that in this niche specifically, the money's not going to be as great as other niches. Now, with that being said, if you really want to create this and do this, I would say don't quit your job. Make sure you have some income coming in. Like I have some savings. I work sporadically here and there. Um, but understand that it's going to take a lot of work. If you really are gun ho and leaving your job, then create a product alongside of what you're creating that can potentially create revenue sooner. Maybe publish a book or workout classes if you're specifically like what I'm doing with exercises. But you got to get creative if you really want to quit and make this a full-time thing. But I would say make sure your ducks are in order before you actually try to just go gun ho.
Was there any checklist or book or course that before you said, hey, I'm going to do this, that you read that helped, get you ready for that? Because a lot of times people say, yeah, you say that, but how? And, I think of the Art Williams speech, just do it. My kids say, yeah, that sounds good, but he didn't say what to do. But when you're doing, you just know. And so it's hard sometimes to it's like speaking another language to someone if it's not in you. So is there anything that helped guide you or even mentorship?
Are you a successful entrepreneur or one in training? You've got the vision, but do you have the right partner to build your brand, your team, and your future online and off? At CPRfirm.com, we offer expert consulting, financial guidance, and life coaching because we believe in doing life with our clients. After all, what is it for a man to gain the world and lose his soul? Founded by Kellen Coleman, we help our clients not only succeed, but plan to retire rich. Your business deserves the best. Start building your legacy today at CPRfirm.com.
Yeah, so I read a book called The YouTube Formula, and it's a good breakdown on like how to create videos for retention, how to, suck in audiences right away with the hook, etc. Uh, the whole methodology of just creating good content to put out on YouTube. The thing though, I'll be honest with you, it's not really specific on what I do in the sense of kid stuff. I feel like there's not much information out there that helps kids creators on how to create content. So I think I just kind of just jumped in. I looked at what other people were doing. I think that's a good place to start. Like, okay, look at your competitors, and like see how they're creating and then make it your own way. I think that's a good way for a lot of people to start, see what's working already and then just remake it, but just do it your way to your best ability. And if it works, the analytics will show you that and you could run with it like that.
How did education and with AI, it's like, what is the future of education? What education is worth going to? What did your schooling, prepare you for or help? Or would you say, you know what, if you guys did want to follow my steps, you could do this in, middle school. As long as you can count to 10, you can do this. And don't worry about your budgets and your ledgers and all that other stuff. Just jump right in and learn it, as you go. Because people say, what should I be studying? And I tell people, I don't know, unless it's doctor, unless it's something that nurse. I don't know what you should be studying because I don't know what's going to be around the way it is now. But give us your history on, schoolings. I know you are a certified, teacher.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, one thing I tell people, I think everyone should create content. I mean, I think that we're in a world nowadays where the most valuable currency is someone's attention. So if you could put something out on the internet, it doesn't have to be you on screen, but if you could put something out that people are watching, you could potentially make some good money. So um, I don't know where the world is going to. I mean, I actually was just looking at the stats prior to getting on here. The content creator economy right now is valued about like $200 billion, but in 10 years it's supposed to go over 1 trillion. So I mean, like, why not get a piece of that pie if you can, So if you're a young child watching this and you don't know what you want to do, why not just make a video, make some YouTube videos? Now, for me specifically, in my education, I was a teacher, like I said. I taught for about 10 years. I just saw myself and I looked around the building. Could see veteran teachers. They were miserable. And I was kind of at that point where I was like, I'm at that place where I got to make and break. I got to decide what I want to do going forward. Do I want to continue being a teacher or do I want to try something else? I knew that I loved working with kids. I just knew that I didn't love working in a school. So I was like, how can we create this into something that is my own? Like I said, I left. I had some entrepreneur journeys. I was managing homes for a little bit, some Airbnb business, Amazon things that just dipping my toe in all the entrepreneurs journeys that I could try that made sense to me. But again, they didn't really make sense to me because I didn't have a passion or love for it. So when I realized that I need to be doing something that makes sense to me and that can really make an impact, I was like, let's go with this kid thing fully.
I'm not trying to beat up on the school districts, but I think a lot of them are like a lot of jobs where it's rarely you hear someone working with kids, whether it's I've worked in step down psych programs, drug rehab.
Yeah.
It's not the kids.
Yeah.
It's the system always.
Unfortunately.
And what's crazy is, just like in hospitals, a lot of people who are making the rules have never really done the work. They weren't in the field. A lot of them, some were, but it's, it might have been a different time where kids wore suits to class. And that's not the case for majority, especially public schools. what are some things that we could be doing, should be doing? Should we be creating our own schools, or like you, having our own programs where my kids, were homeschooled since the pandemic. Then they revolted, wanted to go to school, so found them the best Black-owned public school in Palm Beach County that we could find. And I say Black-owned because I don't I don't trust the school system, period, but I can't rely on Florida to teach my kids Black history and who they are besides slavery. Because we know growing up, all we heard was slavery, slavery. You know you were enslaved every year. You know you were enslaved. Nothing about Mansa Musa or anything positive. So I don't trust the system, and I tell people in their face, I don't trust your system with my kids. So what should we be doing to change it for the next, generations to come? And what could we be doing with the system that we have now? Because I don't know. Y'all know, say.
Yeah, it's a tough one, especially like you're saying, like, when the education that is presented to the children may be filtered or put through someone's eyes to make it present a certain story that they want to tell. It's very tough for any child to survive or to truly understand what's going on in this world. What I think we should do or can do is I like the idea of homeschooling. I know that not everyone can do that. How do we fix the current school system? I think there needs to be a little bit more support for teachers. I think if you, first off, start paying them well, then you get more qualified teachers or quality teachers. I'm not saying anything about teachers currently, but I think that a lot of people are turned down or turned away from the career to begin with just because they understand the salary. And now if you up that salary, because these teachers are, first off, impacting our future, because the work that they're doing is setting out people into the world that are going to not potentially, but future impact the world based off of the choices they make. So support the teachers, one, curriculum. I think that there needs to be a total rehaul of not all of it, but like, I think we need to start teaching things that just really matter. Like I don't feel like, we talked a little bit before we got on here, but like financial literacy, it's not introduced to children. They don't understand this. Like I had to just go out into the world and like, oh wait, I got to manage a bank account or a checkbook. I don't know if anybody uses checkbooks anymore, to be honest, but that was just learn and go as I was out there. But I love the idea that there's more alternative schools coming up. Like you said, like you chose a school that your children can go to. There's charter schools, a lot of different opportunities. I think the public school system, unfortunately, I don't know how to fix everything there. I think that we need more. I think we just need more alternatives out there where parents can pick and choose what makes more sense to them and what they want their children to learn.
So if you don't know, you've worked in it. I've had my stints. Maybe we need to just burn it down, people, and build it back up. However that is.
And the thing is, I'm not anti-teacher too. Like, and I know you're not anti-teacher either. It's just the system is just broken, and I just don't know how we repair it at this point. It's too far gone. I think there's a sad thing of children being enabled. I'm sorry, and I think we need to find ways to like make more respectful young children or young adults and send them out into the world the right way. Sorry to cut you off.
No, not at all. Because it's a conversation that, like, if you're not in that field working, you don't know. I put my job on the line many a times, even working with youth from the Phoenix Academy in Springfield, Mass. And my supervisor, the boss, he told me, he said, I heard you gave a mother a ride. I said, yeah, we have a 17-year-old who is very violent. He's trying to get in rehab, and his mother is basically, kind of not old, but she's unable to walk in the snow in Massachusetts. I'm going to give her a ride in my personal car, not the company's van, because I live right across the street in Springfield. I said, and I didn't even drive to work. I just went and grabbed my car. He said, if anything goes wrong, that's your job. I said, if that woman gets hurt and slips and falls, it could turn him while in his recovery in a cycle where he relapses, because he could leave anytime. We don't lock him down. He could leave. I said, it's worth it. I said, I got a master's degree. I think I'll be all right. I'm willing to put it up to help the sanity of him and his mother, who is, this woman is hobbling through the snow just so this boy can stay into treatment because he didn't want to be there. And no court ordered him to be there. He came on his own. So, those are the things that teachers do, sometimes every day. Like and they're using their own money to buy supplies, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. Every time I see that Amazon wish list on September, I'm just like, why can't you support your teachers? They should not have to be asking other people to donate to their classroom so that they can provide the materials for these students. I think that should be on the hands of the school itself. But it's just a sad situation right now for these teachers, and I feel for a lot of them. I know that they want to do great work, but I just feel like they're restricted in so many ways.
And what makes me even sadder, I don't say names, but for those who know, we can get people online to run them donations to somebody who won't open a school, who has no plan to open a school. I saw a YouTuber yesterday who has a villa in Kenya asking for donations because his solar and his crops in a rainstorm got ruined. Well, you got a villa in Kenya and I believe one in Argentina. Your audience, who can't even eat, is supposed to donate to you. Those people always get money. But then, again, a program like yours to say, look, I don't want your children to be obese. I don't want them to be fat. I want them to be mentally fit. I just interviewed a lady who deals with kids in meditation, and it's so hard for the positive to get funded sometimes. It lets me know we're in that back of the scriptures, y'all. And if, some of your relatives disappear out of thin air, just know you weren't in the first batch.
Well, boy. The end of times, we're here. We're here. Yeah. I mean, again, it's we got to be realistic too. That, like, as you said, the unfortunate truth is there's things that sell and they're able to be monetized. It may not be the most positive things, as you said, like like we're funding these people who or this person who's living lavish while everyone around them is living in very tough conditions. But that's the sad truth of this world, and talking about what you were saying, I just kind of thought about like the Teddy Bridgewater situation. Kind of reminded me of that, where he was giving his players a ride to school and from practice, and then he lost his coaching job. I'm like, there'd be a lot of coaches out there fired if that's the case. I mean, like, you help your kids. I mean, we were talking too before we got on the phone on the call about AI and, like, holding positions of power. And I'm like, that's the part where they're lacking, the empathy part of it, like seeing someone who's struggling and then going out of your way to help them, the sympathy part of that. I don't think that, technology can't get it now, but maybe hopefully later. But it's a sad truth. Teachers need help, and I support teachers. I love teachers. I am still a teacher, and I hope we get some positive change for them.
Well, and in sports and in high school sports, there were athletes better than me who were living with teachers or coaches.
Let's not have that conversation.
So they could be in they had issues or whatnot. I always tell people I actually got to hit DJ Williams when he was at De La Salle, and carried me for more yards than I want to admit because he was 200 and some pounds then, and he was a sophomore. I think I was a junior or senior, but there's levels to this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what is, and in your whole, business model, what we've been talking about is a give back, but is there another give back that you're doing or one that you would like to do? And is there any way that the community can help you in doing that so you can do it faster?
Yeah. So what I'm building out right now, again, I talked to you a little bit beforehand, as I'm doing some drop-ins in some schools and libraries. I would love to go to some hospitals and put on some shows as well for the kids who may be doing a long stay over there and might need some cheering up, some activity, something to get them up and going. And I in my head I framed that as Mr. J Cares. That's my my nonprofit side of things. I'm still working out those kinks as well. I mean, at the end of the day, right now, we need to, I want to be in the positive before I can start, those other side ventures. But the best thing for anyone is just to get the word out. I mean, I think from what I understand, well, from what I know, I'd like to talk like more positively here. Um, I'm creating great stuff. And whenever someone sees it, the feedback's amazing. I looked at my analytics after my feature on YouTube Kids. People are watching my videos for a good duration of the time. So it is resonating and it's good stuff. It's just we need to get more exposure. We need to get more people to see what we're doing, because once they see it, I feel like they will definitely back the mission and make me get to the points where I want to get to.
When you're, looking and sorting out clients even, who are your clients? Are they schools? Are they programs? Could they even be the shelters that where those kids, sometimes can't even get out depending on the situation and they need entertainment? Who is your ideal client? And have you looked at the government contracting with your NAICS codes?
No, I have not. That's something I got to look into, the government contracts. But the clients are anywhere the kids are. So yeah, the schools are easy, the churches are easy, the libraries are easy. The homes, that's a really good one to put into. But wherever kids are, that's where I want to be. Ideally, what I love about my channel on YouTube, and this is why I wanted to go that route of creating content online, is that I could be anywhere. Like when I was teaching physical education to kids, I'm restricted to just 30 kids in one class setting. But if I'm on a video, I can reach millions of children, which is, the ultimate goal is to reach as many children as you can and impact as many children as you can.
Definitely, definitely. The impact can also be global. So let me ask, I might be doing too much, but
Lock it up.
hopefully, have you looked at it and said, hey, you know what? In again, Kenya, Uhaligani, Kenya, Mambo Po Asana. Have you looked internationally? Because sometimes, and not sometimes, a lot of times, a prophet, the scriptures say it, is not respected or accepted at home.
That's deep. That's deep. um, no, I have. I mean, that's on my radar again, because that's the ultimate goal: to be a global recognized face in the kids space of exercise, fitness, social emotional learning, health. I'm all well-being, and I think that no one does what I do, to be honest, because you either have someone who just gets kids moving and exercises, or you got someone who worries about the mental component of things or character development of things. No one kind of combines everything in my mind, or does it the way I do, and that's just my experience of being a teacher. I taught all these things. I'm full well-being when I was a physical education and health teacher. So I want to present all of that to the kids. Now, to be a global thing, I mean, I'm totally up for that. Right now, I'm just on the trajectory of just getting myself out there. And, as far as we can go, I'm all about it.
And we think about products, whether it be clothing, books. Is there anything out there now that people can get? Can they get a Mr. J shirt, like maybe Mr. T, right? And you got to get a gimmick, right, with some jewelry or something, where because kids gonna wear jewelry and it's cheaper than ever on Temu, but products coming that are already that we can support.
Yeah, we're in the works of that as well. I mean, books are something. I just got approached by someone to, publish a book. I mean, I didn't even think about that at this time, because we're so early in the stages. But yeah, product's gonna be great. One of my big things is I wear wristbands and headbands in my videos, so we're gonna distribute those. We'll have some swag, some gear. Kids, and people have come up to me and told me we really would support you if you had some stuff out there. It's just, they're just. Again, as a guy wearing all the hats right now, there's just, okay, now this season. As I said, there was my content creation season. This is my networking season. Then I'll switch over to maybe the product season. But it's just really tough doing it one time, and as one person, and I try to focus fully on one thing, and then I'll move over to the next thing.
Somebody would say, okay, hey, New Jersey, maybe they've never been to New Jersey, and say New Jersey, like New York is down the street. can't you do like the guitar playing cowboy, the necking cowboy, and go out there and somebody sign you? Do you ever go out, in the public, any big events, and just say, you know what, I just want to just be seen, and I know I'm going to look different, I'm going to talk different. Maybe I have my Insta 360. That's a free promo for you, Insta 360. Like, do you do any pop-ups or anything like that anywhere?
Yeah, my pop-ups are less production based. I kind of just pop up at places like, hey, this is what I do. I go to parks and I hand out like a flyer, like, hey, I'm Mr. J. I create content for kids. Hey, if you would love, I would love it if you checked out my channel and followed, subscribed. I've been doing that. Speaking of New York, I've done some crazy trips recently. Do you know Simon Squibb?
Simon Squid, the book publisher?
Well, he has a book. He's like a serial entrepreneur. His whole thing is that he goes around the UK and he asks people what their dream is, and then he'll help like connect you with the right people and fund you and all that. Yeah. Well, he was in New York 2 weeks ago. I'm only like 45 minutes, 30 minutes, depending on traffic from the city. And I'm gonna sound a bit stalkerish here, but okay. He posts up a TikTok live, and all it is just his phone facing a window. And I'm like, this guy's in New York. I'm gonna figure out where he is. So I kind of do my little research, talking to AI. I was like, hey, look at this picture, analyze it. Do you think he's at this place? And like, yeah, he's over here. He's probably there. So long story short, me being a creeper and a stalker, I drive into New York. I sat outside of the hotel where he was for about 7 hours, and then I met him, and then we talked a little bit, and you know, it wasn't exactly, hey, listen, we're gonna fund you on what you're doing, but hey, I like what you're doing. It's a good idea. I'm putting something here where you can pitch your ideas more formally in the future, which is actually happening now. So I'm actually driving into the city tomorrow to do a fuller pitch, and hopefully that leads to something really positive.
Yeah, God bless that in Jesus Christ's name. Let that happen, because it only takes one deal for your life to just goes, you, you know. And I think about all the places that are trying to reach kids. So partnerships are everything, and even Basquiat needed a cosign, from Indy. And however, some people think Basquiat stuff is, whatever. But when Andy Warhol says it's good,
Yeah.
it's good.
It's good. It's good for everybody.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Let the people know where they can find you, follow you, subscribe, and support. And any last words that you have.
Yeah, my everything, all my socials are, hey, it's Mr. J. I know that's a lot of words, but hey, it's Mr. J. You can Google me, search me. I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube, of course, and I'm on LinkedIn. So if anyone wants to connect and more formally on that side, that's a good way to find me. But what we got coming up here is we're just gonna keep putting out content soon. I know I've taken a little bit of a break right now. Like I said, the last video I published, I believe, came out in July. But it's been a lot of network. I was just in Indianapolis last week, connecting with some people out there. So there's this is that season, like I said, of grinding and working. But we're gonna keep on putting out content, and hopefully we'll be in front of your kids very soon.
Amen. Amen. It's the journey. That's what it's about. And you never know you're successful, probably, you guys, until you're dead. So, you just keep on climbing and climbing. Even Bill Gates, the Elons, the Warren Buffetts, whoever you like to follow, they're all still trying to get it, because they're not done. Because once you do one thing right, you can do a few things right. That's just the mindset of a winner. I thank you guys for tuning in. I know most of you are listening on podcast, Podbean, Spotify, Apple. Go over to the YouTube, put a voice with the face. If you're driving, do it.
Yeah, they gotta see my handsome face. I think when they see it, that's when they'll really be sold.
Boom, boom, yeah. You guys got the game. There you go. Make sure you comment, make sure you like. Most importantly, though, share the game with someone, you guys. This will change somebody's life. It might be your kid's life. Peace. Be blessed.
Are you tired of the violence, tired of the injustice, police brutality, rampant discrimination, lack of gun control in this failed bias socioeconomic experiment called America? Or maybe you need a break from the relentless grind and want to regain control of your destiny, your wealth, your health, and your purpose. DiversifiedGame.com has the right course for you. Prepare for my first trip to Africa. Looking to reconnect with your roots, start a new business, or just a fresh start. Africa, aka the motherland, is waiting. Don't let the Chinese and the Mzungus have the fun and also take over the motherland. From Cairo to Mombasa, from Dakar to Cape Town, Africa has something for everyone, from business opportunities to the most amazing people, safety, leisure, and landscapes. So opportunities abound. It is time for the diaspora to reconnect with their roots. Time to reconnect with the birthplace of humanity. Africa is the last frontier. Get your head in the game and reclaim your legacy. The writing is on the wall. Babylon is falling. Give up the stress, grind, and violence inflicted on our people on this continent and prepare for a journey of restoration and joy by connecting with the land of your ancestors. Check out our new course and kick off your adventure at DiversifiedGame.com.